everyone. Christine Beckwith here. Welcome. We are so excited that you're with us today and that you have chosen to make an investment in the safety of yourself. I want to get started right away and introduce you to myself and Jessica Peterson, who are the authors of Clear Boundaries. Jessica is a social media impactor, and she has a niche for branding, productivity, and the wow factor with her Simply Wow agency. She's a wife, mother, philanthropist, a TEDx speaker, best-selling author of 6 books, developer of the 6K and 7K Wow Blueprint, and a certified business and marketing coach, and just an amazing overall person. Here I am, Christine Beckwith, and some of my highlights that people care to know about is that I am a top 50 woman in mortgage. I've been rated so by MPA, which is Mortgage Professionals of America, on multiple programs and years. I'm a 30-year mortgage industry veteran. I'm in the top 2% of female banking, which I'm truly proud of as an executive. And I am the best-selling author of 2 books, Wise Eyes and Clear Boundaries. I can't wait to tell you all about the things in this book that are going to create safety for yourself. So let's talk about the book for a moment. We hope that the gathered information will protect you from dangerous situations. We have agreed if even one life is saved by reading the tips in this book, we will have greatly succeeded in spreading our veil of defense. Let me show you our website, and I want you all to write this down, www.businesswomansafety.com. We have made an interactive website where you can subscribe for free, and you can share your stories. When you get into reading the Clear Boundaries book, you're going to discover that the book is many professional women's stories and tell real life stories of near harm and violence and survival and best practice tips. We want that to continue with our subscribers and readers. So you may share your story if you feel you have one and learn about the cause that we have through Clear Boundaries. Women who want to be safe in their careers. There are intersections that are occurring in our current state, in the office place, in their work travel, on cyber, through social media, and even work sites. Men, I know you have a female loved one, whether it's a coworker, a peer, or whether it's someone in your immediate family, your daughter, your mother, sister, friend. This is for you. This is a book that you should buy as a gift and pay the gift of safety forward. And this is a great book for teenagers. We feel that young women, young adults, need to know how to position themselves. That's why we titled this book Clear Boundaries. That enables us, of course, to help men understand how to interact with women and women to understand how to create themselves safely. So how did we get here? Well, let's look at some of the facts. Between 1966 and 2018, women in the workforce have grown from a minority level to a majority level, tipping the scales at 51% of the workforce. We recognize those barriers. We still, as women, have barriers to overcome. Entry into the workforce is still hard. We are still a minority in management roles at 38%. We are still fighting for equal pay, and we are still fighting for promotions. Those are the facts. We have a greater percentage of women in the workplace now, but we still are struggling for certain hurdles within the workplace. How do we react to what we know? It's created an environment where interaction between men and women are at an all-time high within the workplace. Social media interaction is at a high and continues to rise. That's a mechanism of our culture and how we interact and interface. And internet imaging of women is confusing to both genders. High numbers of women file lawsuits, allege harassment and discrimination. Women are taking a stance in society, and Clear Boundaries was written to create clarity on both sides. Boundaries put both men and women in a secure place. So here we're going to talk about top safety tips. The number one thing that you can do for yourself is be alert and aware at all times in public. Do not allow your senses to be dulled by alcohol or other substances, especially when you're alone. Number one tip right here in the book: fight for your life if attacked. I cannot say this enough. I'm going to repeat it. Fight for your life if attacked. And the reality is, having polled and reviewed statistics with criminal violent crime offenders, is that the women that actually end up safe or saving themselves are the women that immediately fight, because most of the criminals are coming for you in a public place and they don't want trouble. Interestingly, the number one thing in a criminal's mind is getting caught. It is getting them in trouble. So with that in mind, women have the greatest chance of survival if they fight during the initial moments of the attack. Another top safety tip is run. Always run immediately. Do not freeze out of fear. Respond with action. And I will tell you, if you are an Apple iPhone user, press the side button 5 quick times to call 911, and it will track your GPS and allows you to get a police connection to where you are. It is a great way to save your life. Internet safety is key. Be careful of who you let into your world. Protect your image. Clear boundaries dives deeply into image protection and the neuroscience of imaging. I brought this up at the onset of this, and I want to dive into this. Our book talks about how men see women's imaging. It's very blunt about how that is tied to their reaction, what they're thinking when they see imaging, and where we as women can help them not be so confused about the messages that we're sending. And we want to attract that maybe one guy that we have in mind, but we need to remember that when we do that, we are sending out an image to all of the public and all of the people on our media. We really stress to you to keep those images private and intentional in the way that you deliver them. It's important that we draw clear lines. Now, be aware of how and where hands are used on interaction. You know, we get it. And I talk with my hands. I'm talking with my hands right now. You need to know that putting your hand on someone's shoulder, touching their elbow, putting your hand on their leg can be interpreted offensively by women. They can be interpreted as advances and not as innocent gestures, as they may be innocent gestures. If you find yourself in a position where that is being done to you, you need to speak up and you need to not be afraid to address it. Like, hey, that makes me feel uncomfortable. We also tell you on social media safety that there are no regulations. So the lines are very blurred in regards to imaging. Let's break down why that imaging is confusing. I can tell you one of the things is that men see porn imaging and social media imaging and have a hard time delineating the difference. And the reality is porn is a big business. I know it's an awkward topic, but it's a topic that we must address, that, you know, men that are seeing and viewing porn are also viewing you on the same devices. Science proves that the brain sees images as a form of sexual stimulation. Lines blur when projected images cause confusion, leading to unsolicited advances and creating great societal confusion. And in writing a book about boundaries in this generation, this is something that is the elephant in the room and needed to be addressed. We created a Facebook frame that can be used for your profile. This can save you from a lot of unsolicited advances. We went ahead and put this frame on all of our pictures. There you see myself, Jessica, and Candy Zilkowski, our editor. We put these frames on, and almost immediately the advances stopped. Go into Facebook, find it under Clear Boundaries, put it on your picture, save it, and then take a screenshot of your profile. If you just do it from Facebook and you screenshot your profile picture, you can load that picture as your image in all other social media. So now we go into a part of the book where we talk about movement. You're out and about in the world, and now you are in a parking lot at the end of a business meeting. You're in a parking lot shopping at night, ladies. You're in a parking lot traveling. Be aware as you walk, especially if you're in a dark setting. But we tell you, be mindful, even when you're parking during the day. If you're going to be somewhere a long time and into the night, park near light poles. Park where you know it's going to be well lit. Park close to the building. There's a reason for that. Stay away from the far, far away parking. And if you have no choice but to park far away, then please bring a small flashlight with you. Put one in your purse. I have one that has a keychain that's on my purse. Something like that is very helpful to just being lit up. Have a key and a mace in hand, and tell others that you work with that you fear your safety because of where you park, and create a buddy walking system, especially if you're leaving late at night. This is one of the number one areas that people are abducted, kidnapped. This is also the number one areas that women are stuffed into cars and raped or murdered. For those of you professionals that are traveling in and out of airports, we have a whole section on this in the book. Do not interact with strangers. We urge you not to. Sometimes social conversations can be misinterpreted in these situations. And always take a photo of your parking spot when you're leaving airport parking garages. Often when you come back, it's hard to remember where you parked. And if you appear lost, you're putting yourself in danger because anyone that might be observing you knows you don't know where your vehicle is. Parking garages can be a very scary place. They can be dimly lit. There can be no one there that is seeing you. And it's a very private place and a very common place for perpetrators to sit and wait to abduct. So, and certainly do never accept a private ride from a parking garage or anywhere at the airport. Someone that might offer you a ride to your hotel, you're putting yourself in danger if you do that. Always enter a public transportation by making a personal call. This is huge. I've done this and had to do this several times. What you do is you enter the vehicle, have a person that, you know, you've set the system up. I'm going to make my emergency transportation call to you. And you make the call and say, hey, it's Christine. I just got in taxi number. If you're using one of the newer systems that don't have a license showing, you might get their name and say, I'm in a car with Grace. She's driving me to the Hilton. I'm 15 minutes away. I just left the airport. And so now you've anchored yourself. You've placed a person with you. And if that public transportation driver had ill intentions, you have now please said where you are and you have fingered that person. Never walk in non-public or private areas in the airport. Can't say that enough. Be very careful about doors you open, places you go. You can easily step into a very private place that you shouldn't be in. Hotel safety. Again, be careful of stranger interaction. The book opens up with me telling a story about being followed. Never allow a stranger to see you enter your room. If you're walking down the hallway in the hotel and you feel like you're being followed or there's another stranger, don't go in your room because you're going to give away where your room number is, and certainly don't let them follow you past you entering your room. You could get shoved inside the door and the door is shut behind you. So if you see that happening, reverse directions immediately, go back to the elevator or the stairwell and wait, you know, walk down to the lobby and wait until it's clear to go into your room. And be very aware if you're leaving a hotel bar. That's where my situation occurred. Never allow a single repairman or bellman in the room. If you have a TV that's broken, I've had to call for remote controls to be replaced. Be very careful. You know, leave the door open, ask for a buddy system. Always make sure your cell phone is charged. That can be super dangerous. So you always want to have a charger and a backup charger at all times. Mofis are great for having charge, but you have to have your phone charged. You are really putting yourself in a bad spot if you leave your phone low charged as you're traveling or in a hotel. Always get 2 keys to the hotel room. Keep a second one in a safe place. And ladies, enter your room number into your cell phone note section and then get away the cardboard key fob holder that you keep in your purse because they write on it the room number. And so if someone gets into your purse, they're going to see exactly where you are. Do not leave drinks open and unattended. This is so important. Put a napkin when you visit the restroom over your drink because something could be slipped in your drink. This happens all the time. Do not allow yourself to be drugged. Cover your drink. Never drink to full intoxication when traveling. You're going to lose your inhibition. You're going to lose your alertness, and you're going to put yourself in a position where you could have harm done to you and not be in the best position to fight. Never leave your purse open where a hotel key or a car key can be accessed by a stranger. We are now at the corporate safety part. Be aware of unprofessional or uncomfortable office interaction and be willing to discuss with human resources, even if you choose not to file a report. Be aware that safety is needed in off-site work events. We also tell you to be willing to create lines that are clear to coworkers for yourself and see your corporate safety and sexual harassment guides and policies and understand them to protect yourself. Listen to your gut. The greatest defense we have is our own intuition. Always tell people where you are going, how long you plan to be there. Always document you are meeting and provide that to a third party in front of the person you are meeting, and listen to yourself if you feel a person is giving off a sexual vibe. Okay, now we are at the section where we polled men. What are men saying about safety? What are they saying about where we're at in the movement and how they feel about us taking control of our safety? Well, we asked men, and in our book, we had men share how they were feeling. They said, number one, they want to know where their boundaries are. Yeah, they want to know where they're crossing boundaries. Of course, it's important to them to understand that, because this is not a book just for women. Yes, the primary victim of violence in the US is women. We want men to understand where their boundaries can be to help women be in a better position, especially in the workplace and the uprising of workplace-related commentary around this topic. Men want women to carry themselves professionally at work, and if they don't, they want women to understand the message they are sending. And they said they understand. It's never okay to violate a person's space or privacy with verbal or physical advancement, no matter how the seduction or perception in the workplace occurred. So men are acknowledging that even if a woman has been flirtatious or appears a certain way, that is not a permission slip to make advances. So that's important to say out loud. I said, demand respect, but act accordingly. Deliver great results, be professional, keep your personal business outside of work, and you will get the respect you desire. We want to say good guys can be bad too. What does that mean? Never go along to get along. Sometimes we put ourselves in positions where we're around a really great guy and you end up down a wrong road that's not easy to turn back from. Never get in a car with someone unless you trust them, and a person's profession doesn't define their safety. So sometimes, ladies, we get a bad gut feeling from somebody that might be a security guard, somebody that might be in a professional position that we look up to. Those people can be bad guys too. So you need to understand that no title, no profession, none of that defines whether you're safe or not. You've got to look at the person and not look at the exterior. And that's been true, obviously, in many cases that we've seen in stories that have been shared. We had an executive bodyguard that shared advice, and these are the tips, the top tips that were shared. Hold your head up when talking on the phone. Stand on the same level as the person you talk to. Know your exits in any room or building. Always leave arm's distance to people. Be loud and yell, "Stranger, help." And be able to react in milliseconds. Same advice as we said in the beginning of the book. Number one tip from an executive bodyguard: run and fight, and use a makeshift defense weapon. That brings us now to home security. We want to talk about the lines of defense with home security. Your first line of defense, clearly your alarm. You could also put up beware of dog signs. That's going to deter burglars and intruders on your property. Even if you don't have a dog, do not trespass signs will tell people that probably if they trespass, there's an alarm or there's a security system. Those are all first line of defense mechanisms. Second line of defense is your security system. Please use it. You have to make sure your alarm system is set up in every way that you want it to work for you. If you have a big property that has private entry areas, you want to have cameras at those entry areas. You want to have visible outdoor signs that you have a security system. Maybe a label in the window, maybe a sign on the lawn that says this home is protected by X, Y, or Z. The third line of defense is your plan. We lack plans. You know, when you're in a situation, a lot of times you're scrambling and you're not thinking right. So what is your family's emergency plan in case of an intruder? What is yours if you're alone? Have a safe hiding place or create one, and organize a neighborhood buddy system. Those are things that in home situations are going to help you. Sit down and form that plan. And then the last line of defense are weapons. We want you to be trained, get certified, and practice, practice, practice. Using a weapon for home protection requires thought, planning, safekeeping, and arranging for proper and legal use. And please keep them safe, locked up, and away from the hands of children. So, so important. Follow the safety guides of all the training. If you choose to have this last line of defense as a weapon, which is our American right, you need to have the safety training that's provided through the obtaining of any weapon. We are now talking about vehicle safety. So there's many situations where when you're in your vehicle, you are in harm's way because you're out in public, and obviously crimes occur in public. So never stop because a person points and tells you to. If a car door is suddenly opened, be prepared to accelerate or change direction quickly. Never park in the same place. This is a common mistake. Perpetrators will watch, and we tend to go to that same parking place. Mix it up, switch it up. You need to park in different places all the time. Hide 2 defense weapons in your car, one that you can easily reach, and then a second hidden one that you can get to in case when you go for the easy reachable one, it's taken away from you and they think now they've stripped you of your weapon. Having a second one that you might be able to get to may be the key. So be doubly prepared in your vehicle. We're going to give specific tips today to realtors. It's near and dear to Jessica and I. We both work in and around realtors, and we want to share this gift with realtors. 3 is a family. Always have a buddy system for home showings. The book opens up with a violent crime, a real story of murder against a realtor that became a famous case. Never give out your home address, even if someone wants to send you something, a thank you. Always have a P.O. box. Do not put your personal marketing out there in a way that would attract perpetrators. I know we have to market, but we need our imaging to be professional, and we need our messages to be professional and dress professionally. That's so important. And I would also go back to framing. The keep it professional frame would be so important. And if you put the keep it professional frame on there, I want to say right here, go ahead and tag myself or Jessica or Candy. Again, it's Christine Beckwith. It's Jessica Peterson, Candy Zilkowski. If using Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, other means, show us your frames. We want to share and create a movement that is keep it professional in social media, and you'll see that in our book. So by all means, let us know that you did that, especially you realtors who we know have such a big marketing face out in the public. Do your homework before the meeting. If your gut tells you not to trust someone, then don't. And have an emergency word or a couple people that you can text and call if you're in an emergency situation. Again, we go into this in the book. It's so important. We tell you how to do this. But again, a great way to set up a system for emergencies. And see the National Association of Realtor Safety Checklist on page 110 that we have put in Clear Boundaries that is all about realtor safety. We just want to take a moment to recognize the revolution that has been brewing and has come to the forefront in the recent year. And that is the cover of Time magazine choosing that the people of the year will be people that have created movements for women, that have given women a voice against violent crimes and sexual discrimination in the workplace. And that is Tarana Burke with her Time's Up movement. We are so proud of the work that she's done. And with Time, we applaud her for bringing a voice to women everywhere. We want to commend Oprah Winfrey for her speech that she gave at the Emmys. A new day is on the horizon. That speech has gone viral, and it is a wonderful speech for all women, young and of any age, about a new day being here. And it certainly gives us hope and liberation towards this cause. And this is our contribution. Keep it professional with Clear Boundaries with us. And we hope that our book will go viral and that we will save lives. So in the end, we ask you, subscribe to businesswomensafety.com, share your story. We cannot thank you enough for joining us today. We're so proud that you invested in yourself. We hope that you will continue to pay the gift forward. And we tell you all to please move forward being safe and create your clear boundaries today.